I'm Dean Bushmiller, and this is Supply Chain Risk Management Principles and Practices. If you're not seeing the full version, you can go to expandingsecurity.com and get the full video, quizzes, badges, and even this mind map with the dynamic links in it. So let's get started. In a previous section, I talked about supply chain risk, and we stopped it at risk. This is actually doing the risk management activities. So, you know the saying out there, it's you, it's not me. Oh, wait a minute. Don't they say that the other way around? Well, yeah, they say it's not me, it's you. No, it's not me. It's definitely you in the supply chain. But the thing is it's me because I'm relying on others. So the reliance of others for all that software that requires libraries and dependencies is really going ahead and weighing us down in the enterprise today. An example of this is Node Package Manager right now. So you might rely upon colors.js, that module that's out there, and that looks like this. And so if you've ever dealt with a Linux command line and you don't like the coloring on that and you have an application that you want to run inside of that where it gives hints as you go along the way, you can go ahead and use colors.js to make that work. Right now, currently, there are around 22,000 projects that depend upon this. I actually downloaded something called Parrot OS, which is a penetration testing environment, and it has color.js inside of it. But that's 22,000 projects that have dependencies on that. In the last week alone, 30 million implementations downloaded the current version of color.js. Okay. Now what happened is the developer got very angry. This is previous. It's not this moment in time in 2024, but previously that person got very, very angry, and what he did was he put inside of his code this infinite loop that you couldn't actually do any updates with, and it just whirled away forever. You would never see this unless you were a JavaScript programmer. You just wouldn't. But if you were a JavaScript programmer, the supply chain failures are passed by your suppliers that you're relying on to go ahead and maybe have a package that has dependencies in it that use color and you didn't even know it. But also the suppliers and products of services that you have that you're using right now, we're going to ingest modifications from upstream. And that's really the problem that we're running into. It's not necessarily that you bought software from me and I suck at what I do. I may be great, but one of the things that I need from upstream, when I grab that and pull that down, I don't realize that somebody inside of there actually makes a sucky product or hasn't done anything. But remember, if you accept updates to your source code automatically, you're done and everybody in there. And that's all the implementations. In the last week alone, that's 30 million people that are relying upon that to be correct and right. If we look at the supply chain life cycle, we have to ask the question, what are we relying on? And that's any parts, components, assembly, and delivery. Remember, what could be manipulated is the computer system, the hardware, the software, and the services that we are using. Okay, where do we get this stuff from? Well, it's called dependencies at that point. So if we look at supply chain operations, this is across all different countries, especially when we're dealing with hardware. One particular computer unit can be made in a multitude of locations, and it's susceptible to disruption all along the way. And the reason why they actually do this is because, they're evil, okay? They have espionage, theft of critical data. They want to go ahead and get inside of our devices. And so they're bad and nasty people, and that's what it comes down to. Now, what we need to do is we need to look at and analyze our requirements. The more critical data processing requires more scrutiny of hardware and software. So when we have super secret projects, we need to purchase really good, well understood tools from suppliers that we can rely on all the way back to the very beginning. If you're buying the cheapest version, let's say that you wanted to go ahead and buy a Raspberry Pi today, and you didn't buy it from the Raspberry Pi valid distributors and you bought it from a third party, they could have injected something into this. And they might even buy it at the full retail price and then discount it down so that it incents you to actually buy this thing with this garbage in it. So we don't want to do that and play cheapest price. It's not going to work very well in the end for us. Now remember, if we're consuming data from a third party, what is the integrity on the data? So let's not even look at the physical hardware, but let's say that we're actually getting data from somebody else and we're flowing that down inside of our organization. That could put us at risk also. Most of the time in this process, we're going to talk about software. We're not going to talk about hardware or data integrity. So that's really where we're going to focus a lot of our energy. What we need is a good business process that works really fast, because software is moving faster and faster and updates are moving faster and faster. So that's what we're going to cover in this supply chain risk management principles and practices.